fourscore and 7 years ago. A new idea for a nation. New idea for a nation was rising. A nation unlike any other. A nation in which the citizens would rise up to take their place as the masters of the world. Under the tutelage of a painter. And while at the other side of on the other side of the world, it was still a little early days for those who sought the same position to become the master race of the world. People in, well, this was perhaps the greatest military-industrial complex ever. And what Dwight Eisenhower was saying was, if we're not careful, we might go the same way. Because there's so much money at the nexus, that crossroads of industry and military, and they can help each other in certain ways. Goings on in Ferguson, Missouri. Give us a bit of actuality check. The reality is that always, that there are people who seek, not only people, but institutions of all sorts, that seek to profit by other people's doing their bidding, whether it's as employees or as customers or as dupes. Targets of cons. Of course, that's what all payday loans. Oh yes. So this fellow who I just started to listen to for the first time today, John Oliver. My hat's off to you, sir. You're very funny, as well as you have quite a way of being able to put things together. And I'm going to be talking to you more, sir. Sir John. Sir Oliver, I'm sorry. And by the way, I don't use that word sir like as in Sir McCartney. Sir Freddie Laker. Oh, you probably know better than most Americans, certainly, about Freddie Laker, though anybody who flew People Express had to be both saddened and kind of bemused. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but whoa! Freddie Laker was this guy who came up with quite an idea that seemed to be working just fine. It was called People's Express, and it was no frills, no reservations airline, specifically just from Newark, New Jersey, which is right, it's close to New York. It's one of the 3 airports. So from New York, basically, but from the Newark airport to not the Heathrow airport, the other one, Gatwick, I think. Yes, I'm pretty confident that's what it was. And for what was at the time very little money, it was $150, I believe, each way. So it was a good deal. But you had to put up with all sorts of things, like long lines, because it was very popular. And I don't know how well it was doing, money-wise, but apparently it was doing well enough that it seemed like it was time to expand. And Freddie Laker, who was quite a good salesman and a kind of, fun guy to sit and listen to, makes this decision to buy another airline. And after the deal was signed, he came out of they held a news conference, a PR conference, really. And he comes out, he's got a bottle of champagne. And I think for the photographers, he even did a up in the air and kicked his heels. And people said, well, so why'd you, what do you think? So you're excited about this new decision you made here? And he said, yes, it's just, I couldn't help it. It was just a brilliant idea. Why do I laugh? I'm sorry, Freddie, but he was out of business. The whole thing was kaput within a very short period of time. And I haven't checked, the background. All that's just the news as I knew it, I distinctly remember the news cast in which he, said, I'm brilliant, It's just such a brilliant thing. And as far as, it's just my conjecture, but I think he just got schnookered. He bought a failing airline, and he just basically handed over all the profits of People Express over to the shysters who managed to unload their airline, their losing airline on him. That might not be true, but it seems like it has to be something like that, in which, he just realized, oh my gosh, I didn't really take care of cross a few T's and dot a few I's here. Whoops. Arrogance. Arrogance is something that is very real and is very much on display when governments are, well, not just governments, the powers that be. Because governments are merely just one arm of those entities as well as the super wealthy. But it's not just the wealth of the individuals, it's the fact that they control these huge corporate interests. That word, using that word, corporate interests. So the corporation wants something, and it has a lot of money to go after it. And we even have Supreme Court justices who say $1 is one vote, because of course the founding fathers were thinking about people with billions of dollars that could completely saturate the airwaves. The founding fathers were very progressive people, and at least according to Antonin Scalia and his ilk, the originalists. I wonder, has anybody accompanied Antonin on one of his seances? He and Terence Clomis went in on buying the Georgetown townhouse, the house that The Exorcist was that happened in. You see, it's one of those cover-ups that made it. They knew they couldn't release it as a documentary. It would be too upsetting to people. So those guys go and they do their seances to, and again, raise your hand if you've accompanied Antonin. He's never let me come with him, nor has Terence Clomis, neither of them. Okay, nobody here has gone on one, so we don't really know what's said. We have to trust these people. After all, they're Supreme Court justices, and the only way people become a Supreme Court justice is to be superior in your ability to hold scales with a blindfold and have it be balanced, right?